Welcome back. Now you've been hard at work rare trading for the last 4 hours. You should have a total asset count of 11.5 million. In this episode, we're going to take those assets and turn you into a bounty hunter. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of bounty hunter that will hunt someone down for days, only to catch them and give them a cuddle and talk to them about religion. I'm talking old school bounty hunter with the cold, dead eyes of a shark. The kind of man that would shoot his own mother as long as she's got a bounty on her head. To begin your path to becoming a bounty hunter, the first thing you're going to want to do is change up your ship. Let's face it, the Type 6 is good for hauling things around, but it's no killer. So go ahead, open up your galaxy map, and we're going to type in Diaguandrai. When you've done that, plot yourself a course over to the Ray Gateway. Before we buy your new ship, make sure you strip down everything of value from the Type 6. So go ahead and sell anything that can be sold, and things that can't be sold, downgrade them to the lowest possible module. This will help us avoid the 10% tax. Now you're still going to lose 10% of the value on your ship, but that should make things a little bit easier. So go right ahead now into the shipyard and purchase yourself a nicely discounted Vulture. Congratulations on your purchase. The Vulture is the gentleman's weapon of choice for bounty hunting. But don't let its refined exterior fool you. If the Grim Reaper could fly a spaceship, he'd be flying in a Vulture. Head on into outfitting and treat yourself to a good laugh at how ridiculous the standard lasers look on this ship. When you're done having a good giggle, go ahead and upgrade these to E3 gimbaled pulse lasers. When you've upgraded those ridiculous guns, go ahead and get yourself a kill warrant scanner. Now these are absolutely essential to a bounty hunter. If you kill a wanted target without one, you will only receive the bounty for that target within that system. If you scan it with a kill warrant scanner, you'll be able to pick up all the bounties from all over the galaxy on that craft. We're now going to go ahead and upgrade our internals. So upgrade your power plant to a B4. Now we're going to upgrade our thrusters to a C5. We're going to upgrade our power distributor to an A5. And we're going to upgrade our shield generator to an A5. After that, we're going to go ahead, get rid of your cargo rack, and get rid of your basic discovery scanner. The next thing we're going to do is sort out our fire groups. So we want the 2 pulse lasers on group 1, and we're going to put the kill warrant scanner on group 2. The final thing you want to do is add on a little bit more fuel capacity to help you get to our next destination. If you've got a little extra cash left over, then feel free to upgrade your frameshift drive, but be careful not to exceed your power limit or to exceed your rebuy cost. Now with that said, open up the galaxy map and we're going to head on back to the Jenna hub in Zaragas. When you arrive, make sure the first thing you do is take off that extra fuel. We don't need it slowing us down when we're hunting. Now, when you've junked your extra fuel tanks, go ahead and head outside of the Jenna hub. Just like the advice in part 1, you can do this wherever you are in the galaxy. Just make sure that the resource extraction site you're going to be heading to is in a pristine or major reserves planet. Go ahead and open up your navigation and plot a course to the high intensity resource extraction site, remembering as you go to approach the planet from above or below the ring system. Now you've arrived, go ahead and switch yourself into solo play. Due to the way instances work with peer-to-peer networking, you're going to be far better off in solo. Just as we did in part 1 of the guide with your Sidewinder, we're going to try and instigate a large ship spawn. So remember, if you see any little ships that aren't in a wing with clippers, pythons, vultures, dropships and gunships that you need to quit out and load the game back in until you start seeing these large ships spawn. Unlike with the Sidewinder, we're not going to be letting the police do our damage for us. We're going to go in and kill anything that moves with a bounty on its head. The first thing you want to do is complete scanning with your kill warrant scanner. Now we can concentrate on killing. So go ahead and change your sub-target to the power plant of the ship. Wait till they move away slightly and then open fire. Now we're going to use the speed of the Vulture to get behind and stay on our enemy. If they do have turrets like this clipper here, we're going to try and use our vertical thrusters to go above or below the ship depending on turret placement. As you can see here, the effect of hitting the enemy's power plant is devastating. It's completely knocked out his thrusters, and as it approaches zero, it's going to shut down all his weapon systems. He's now completely harmless and completely at our mercy. Now, half the time, you'll find that these ships will just explode. The rest of the time, they will just float there completely helpless until you want to finish them off. Or, as we're going to do here, use them as a quick parking space while we go and make a cup of coffee. This does have real tactical advantages, however. If you're fighting a wing and you knock out the power plant of one ship, just leave him where he is, deal with the others and come back and tidy him up at the end.
Target destroyed.
Now I know I said we're not going to let the police do all the work for us, but we're certainly not above swooping in and stealing some kills off the feds. So keep your eyes peeled for laser beams in the distance and then head on in as quick as you can to go and get your cash.
Target destroyed.
One final tip I'd give you is when the enemy uses chaff and renders your gimbals useless, simply unlock the target and go back to using manual fire. Then when the chaff's finished, lock him back up again and finish the job.
Target shields offline.
Using these techniques, you should be able to pull in between 5 and 6 million credits an hour. However, we can add up to another 50% to that total, so stay watching to the end of the video and I'll show you how we do that.
Target destroyed.
Now after a hard couple of hours killing, you're going to have enough cash to fully upgrade your Vulture. Now this is my loadout and yours may be entirely different, but either way, you're going to have to sacrifice something somewhere, because the power plant in the Vulture, even at A rated, is terrible. Even having sacrificed my thrusters to B5, I still have to make some power modifications to be able to get this thing to run when the guns are deployed. To do that, I set my frameshift drive and my cargo hatch to priority 2, which means when I deploy my guns, they turn off, but I can still fire and run all my essential systems. Now I mentioned earlier about being able to further increase your bounty haul by up to 50%. There are a couple of caveats to this, so go ahead, check this out and see what you think. Go ahead and open up your galaxy map and then move on over to power play. Use the drop down menu to select Zachary Hudson, who, for legal reasons I must mention, looks nothing like the T-1000 from Terminator 2. You can see over here under rating 2 that his bonuses give you 20, 30, 40 or 50% increase in handed in bounties depending on his own galactic ranking. Now he's currently in rank 2, which gives me a nice healthy 40% bonus to any bounties handed in. Unfortunately, if you want to rank him up fast, it's going to cost you 2 million credits and a little bit of time. You're also going to have to wait until Thursday morning at 7 AM before you can take advantage of the increased bounty rewards. If you don't want to, or you can't wait until Thursday morning, then that's fine. But if you do, here's how we're going to go about it. Open up your galaxy map and type in Nandmam. This is his headquarters. Plot yourself a course to Gresley Dock and head on over. Now I'd recommend getting yourself another Type 6 and kitting it out for 100 cargo capacity. Go on the contact system, go into power contacts and load up with Hudson Garrison supplies. I recommend taking 100 each way, and you'll only have to make the journey twice. There are of course other ways to raise your power play rank, but this is going to pay for itself very quickly with increased bounties. So head on over to Groombridge 1618 and you're looking for the Gernsback terminal. When you get here, open up your contacts list, go to the power play contact and then unload all of your garrison supplies. Then make the journey one more time. The reason we're having to do this twice instead of once is because power play points depreciate at 50% per week. So by the time Thursday morning comes around, you'll have lost 100 merit points, but you will still now have 100 and be eligible for the increased bounty rewards. Now I apologise in advance for the lengthy grind in this part of the guide. If you haven't joined Zachary Hudson, you'd be looking at an average credit income of 5.5 million an hour for the next 13.5 hours, which will bring you up to a total asset count of 85 million, which is what we'll need to start part 4. If you are receiving your 40% bonus from the T1 Zachary Hudson, then it's going to take you just under 10 hours to accumulate that amount of assets. Don't worry either way, as we're still well on target to getting you your Anaconda in under 24 hours. Don't waste your 85 million trying to drown out the faces of the men you've killed for money. Instead, take that money and join me again in part 4, where we're going to be more than doubling your credit income.